up everyone, welcome back to Saint Seiya Awakening. As we already knew, we have the chance to summon Divine Cloth IKKI this week from the special banner. Now Divine Cloth IKKI is a really long name, so in this channel, he shall be known as the Spicy Chicken. And as usual, you guys benefit from me doing the Spanish review first because this guy is really complicated and there's a couple of details that I got wrong in the review yesterday, even though we spent like 45 minutes talking about him on stream. So we're gonna go do his review. I'm not sure if we're gonna use Yogg's account or Omri's account, but we're gonna go somewhere on SCA where we already have him built and we can use him. We're gonna talk about his skills, teams, all the usual stuff, and then do a showcase. And speaking of SCA, they recently got an update where they changed the intro screen, or no, the welcome screen here where you log into the game. Now we have Athena with her 5 bronze saints wearing their divine armors, and on the other side we have Hades with Minos, Ayakos, Radamanthus, Valentine, and this wolf guy down here, which I'm not quite sure what he's doing here. He kind of just infiltrated the ranks of the really good saints. But anyway, beautiful new welcome screen. I would not mind having this like as an animated background on my PC. They also have a brand new banner with Papillon Mew being available for the first time here on SCA. He came out a long time ago on China, but this is the first time he's available on the SCA server. But even though he's really cool and he's got a really cool summoning video, we didn't come here to talk about butterflies today. We came to talk about chickens, specifically the spicy chicken. Let's start off with his skills and get a pen and paper ready because this guy is not quite as complicated as Poseidon, but he kind of tries to get there. His first skill, the Phoenix Illusion Demoniac. I don't think that's how you write that. I don't think that's a word. The Phoenix Illusion Fist deals 80% Cosmo damage to one enemy. Keep that in mind. Divine IKKI is a Cosmo attacker, but it also has a 40% chance to instill terror. Now, what exactly the terror does is something we're going to figure out when we look at his other skills. The second one, it starts getting complicated already. The Ultimate Phoenix Wings Rise deals 100% Cosmo damage to all enemies, meaning it is an AoE attack. And though the multiplier of 120 doesn't really sound very appealing, that's not all it does. After IKKI uses this skill, he will go into what we're going to call like an egg form. He basically rolls up into this little ball like a Pokeball, and you gain 3 new abilities that you can use. The first one is Rebirth, which is going to turn IKKI into the Fiery Phoenix, literally the Fire Phoenix form. Then you have Phoenix Flame, which is going to keep IKKI inside the egg and is going to give him an attack boost when he comes out. And the last one is the Guardian Flame, which again keeps IKKI inside the egg but gives him an HP boost when he comes out into Phoenix form. Now, upgrading this skill allows us to get a higher multiplier on the initial AoE attack, but also boost how much either attack buff or HP buff we get when we come out. Now, a cool thing I didn't mention is that after you do the AoE and you go into egg form, you immediately get another turn, so you can choose from these 3 new skills right away. If you decide to go into Phoenix form, then you can start using the passives to get attacks off right away, or if you decide to stay in the egg, there's also a passive that applies to that state, and you're also going to get more buffs. So that's a decision you have to take after using the AoE. You get to move right away. The third skill is a passive, and here I made a tiny mistake on the Spanish review yesterday, so we're going to get it right today. Now remember, after the AoE attack from the second skill, you go into egg form. If you decide to stay in that form to acquire buffs, then this passive will apply. It does not apply if you're in Phoenix form or if you're in human form. What this does is that it shoots, don't pay attention to this whole shooting star thing, it's a lot of explanation for really not much because it's random, you can't control it. It's gonna shoot these stars on top of your allies, and if those allies either land a critical hit or don't use energy during your turn, then you will receive buffs while you're in the egg form, and those buffs will apply when you come out and become the Phoenix. This skill starts with a shooting star affecting 3 allies, and it can be maximized all the way to 5 allies, so basically everybody else on the team, and it's 100% guaranteed that you will receive the buffs for when you become a Phoenix. Alright, and now we get to the big daddy with the description straight out of the Bible. This is called Nirvana, and this applies when you're egg form and then when you become the Phoenix. So when you're in egg form, you'll be able to acquire buffs from these skills and the passive that we already read. You can stay in that form for 2 rounds. After that, you're forced to become the Phoenix. When that happens, you're gonna come out with only 20% of your HP. That's whether you wait the 2 turns here or you do it immediately with the Rebirth on the second skill. You're only gonna come out with 20% HP, so that's something you have to keep in mind. You'll be very close to death when you become the Fiery Phoenix. There's also something that goes on with your defense, but I don't think that's something you should worry about. It's just a lot of words and you shouldn't worry about that. What also happens is that you become immune to control effects. Additionally, every time a unit on the battlefield moves, now that can be an ally unit or an enemy unit, the Fiery Phoenix will also attack. He will deal damage to one target, and that target is actually determined by the Phoenix Illusion, by this first skill. Remember how we could instill terror on a unit? If we have one unit terrorized, then the Phoenix will focus that unit until it kills it. It will also deal 80% additional Cosmo damage. After that enemy dies, he will switch target, he will focus somebody else with this passive, and he will keep attacking it until it dies. Now, the Spicy Chicken doesn't just deal damage to the enemy, he also deals damage to himself when he attacks. That's 45% Cosmo damage every time he moves, and he can move with enemies, with allies, and with summoned units. So think, that could be Isaac's tentacles, that's 5 movements right there. That could be Seiya, Poseidon with his 2 summons, Cancer with the dead people, even Sorrento with the banshees. So every time one of those units moves, the Phoenix will attack and he will lose HP as well. Once the spicy chicken runs out of HP, he will revert back into human form. He will become IKKI again, but he'll come back with less HP. This skill is really complicated. It controls a whole bunch of things. First, it controls how many times we can turn into the chicken during a battle. It starts at only 2 and can go up to 4. It also controls the damage of the individual attacks we do when other units move. And lastly, it determines how much HP IKKI comes back with when the Phoenix die and he goes back into human form. This starts at 35% HP, meaning IKKI will come back with only 65. If you get the skill to level 5, then you will only lose 10% HP. And speaking of leveling up skills, this is definitely the one that you want to start working on first. By getting this to level 3, you can come back as the Phoenix 3 times, and if you manage to get it to level 5, you can do it a total of 4. The amount of HP IKKI loses also goes down drastically, so this is definitely the skill we need to prioritize. Now, I've heard a lot of different opinions about the skill ups on this spicy chicken. A lot of people say that he has to have this skill at a minimum of level 4 in order to work properly, but I don't quite understand why 4. The difference between skill levels 3 and 4 are only 10% damage because we can come back a total of 3 times, and the other difference is that IKKI loses 5% less HP. The focus when using Divine Phoenix should be to not go back into IKKI form, so I don't really know how important that is. What is true is that to open his 8 sense, you need at least 2 skills with level 2. So definitely, I would work on this one, get it to level 3 so I can Nirvana 3 times. I would then probably upgrade the third one so that I can do the shooting star thing to 4 allies instead of 3, and eventually I might start working on the second one as well. But again, this is just 10% more multiplier on the AoE attack, which is not the main focus of using this IKKI. In my opinion, a basic spicy chicken should have 1, 1, 2, 3. Those are the levels that I'm going to shoot for. I'm going to start working when I finally get mine, and then eventually I will probably want to max Nirvana before working on any other skills. Alright, now let's look at his 8 cents, and this is another one of those, like lately, it's another one of those units that benefits a little bit from all areas. In Alpha, we're gonna get Cosmo Attack to increase our damage and physical defense. In Beta, we're gonna get HP and Lifesteal, which is something hugely important for the Divine IKKI because remember, he damages himself. If we can get enough Lifesteal between the 8 cents and the Cosmo that we equip, then we can kind of counteract that self-damage. We can make it even out. In Gamma, we have Cosmo Attack and Cosmo Damage to increase our final output, and in Delta, we get HP and Damage Resistance, which is gonna help our survivability quite a bit because remember, again, he damages himself. The more HP he has available, the more attacks he can do before he gets really low. I would personally start by maxing Beta first, getting as much lifesteal as possible, then working on Alpha and Gamma kind of hand to hand, and lastly Delta. I think this is the one that benefits him the less, and you need Friendship level 3, so it's probably the last one that you're going to be able to open. His Cosmo, on the other hand, is pretty straightforward. He is a Cosmo attacker. His purpose in life is to do as much damage as possible. Under Solar, we're going to use Rosary with 2 boosts of Cosmo attack and 5% Cosmo damage. I'm going to move over to Star because that one's pretty easy as well. Hummingbird is the best option by far, there's no discussion there. And under Luna, we do have a couple of options, but again, it's not very complicated. Tenacity and Bloom, like always, give him a huge HP boost, but also some defense. Now, I will mention here that currently on the global server, there's a really heavy Cosmo attacker meta, a lot of AoE Cosmo attackers, so Bloom might not be a bad choice right now because of that Cosmo defense. Even this new one, Spirit Prince, which gives us Cosmo defense and also Cosmo damage resistance, could be a really good option to mitigate some of that damage. And that's not only for the spicy chicken, that goes across the board for all of your units. There's a lot of Cosmo damage going on right now. Under Legendary, it gets a tiny bit more complicated, but not terribly. Wind Elf is a great option because the chicken is not somebody that's gonna go in, AoE, wipe the entire enemy party, and you're done. He's probably gonna be there for a longish fight. The longer that fight goes, the more we can get out of Wind Elf because this thing stacks, remember, round to round. Another good option for PvP is the Two-Horned Snake because not only does it give us a big Cosmo attack boost, but also after IKKI transforms into that Phoenix, he basically doesn't have turns anymore. We lose control of him. He will move when other units move. So technically, all enemies after he transforms into the Phoenix will move after him. So we'll be able to take advantage of the effect from Two-Horned Snake permanently until we become the IKKI again. Now that one was not easy to understand. It had to be explained in great detail to me during the stream, but now I understand why it works. He basically doesn't get turns anymore. Those two are for PvP, and for PvE, we have a really great option in Blood Elf because in PvE, his main use is going to be the Legion boss, and he's going to move when other units move. He's going to be attacking so many times that we can stack the defense break from Blood Elf and pretty much bring the boss's defense to 0. Now in substance, we're going to be looking first and foremost for lifesteal. Now this Cosmo that Omri has equipped on this Phoenix, I think came from his Poseidon or his Saga or something, so he doesn't have any lifesteal on it. That's going to be really interesting to see when we get to the demo. But lifesteal has to be number 1. Remember what I said, he damages himself, but if he also steals HP, then we can counteract and balance that damage. After that, we're going to be looking for Cosmo attack, Cosmo damage to increase our output, speed to make sure that we can get a move on, and if you find some HP here and there, then that goes well as well, but it shouldn't be your primary focus. Now let's move on to his teams, and the Spicy Chicken, despite being such an asshole-ish character in the series, actually gets along with a lot of people here in the game. He works amazingly well with summoners, so Isaac, Seiya, Poseidon, Cancer, Sorrento, anyone that can create additional units on the battlefield will activate additional attacks from the chicken. Now, because not only does he damage himself every time he attacks, but the first time he transforms into the Phoenix, remember he comes back with only 20% HP. He requires a really strong healer. And there's somebody in the game that's almost specialized in being this guy's best friend, and it's another bird. It's the crow, Jamian. Remember, this guy can heal to 100% at the cost of his own HP, but there's mechanics that we can use in the game to make sure that this guy doesn't die after healing Phoenix. If we time it correctly, Jamian can move right after IKKI, healing back to 100% health, and basically negate the whole effect of nuking himself. Pandora can work decently well as well, especially if you're fighting a team with a lot of debuffs, but if there are no debuffs in the enemy team, then her efficiency kind of drops down. She still has a very decent single target heal, so it's not a horrible option. Some protection for the Spicy Chicken is also not a bad idea. You can use walls for Mu or Shion's shield, you can use units that divert attacks to make sure that they can't focus the chicken, or you can help protect him with June. That actually ties really well into the way that Jamian's heal work. We're gonna look at that during the demonstration. June, Jamian, Phoenix is a beautiful combination. As far as attackers, he works well with Divine Seiya. They can both join in on ally units moves, so you could, for example, use June's Vine, trigger an attack from Pegasus, trigger an attack from the Phoenix. It looks amazing, it's gross, it hurts, but it's really effective. Because of that passive that allows the Phoenix to get additional buffs when he's in egg form, he also works well with physical attackers that can crit or with attackers that don't use energy. Now Milo actually serves both of those purposes. And lastly, we have Cannon. The combo works perfectly well, especially in PvE elements. Athena Trial, you could bring these two guys together, triangle, then go crazy with an IKKI, an Isaac combination or something like that, do a massive amount of damage, and one side of Athena Trial will take care of itself. Now, his weaknesses. He kills himself. That would be the main weakness. He takes himself down to 20% HP, and then he also does damage when he attacks people. So it's really easy for him to kill himself when he's in Phoenix form, and then he goes back into IKKI form, which is not really very strong. That would be weakness number one. The second one would be the cost. You do need, I don't think you need as many tomes as people make it seem, but you do need to use some tomes to get this skill to a decent level. We also have the common weaknesses of being able to be one-shot, being able to be controlled, but only before he becomes the Phoenix. Remember, once he's in Phoenix form, he's immune to crowd control, which is really strong. So that weakness really only applies half of the time. There are also some really hard counters for him, some units that make his job a lot harder. Some of them are protective units, like for example Mu and Shion, because the Phoenix focuses on an enemy, right? He marks it and then he keeps spitting at that enemy until it dies. If we can protect that enemy either with Shion's shield or with Mu's wall, then we kind of negate the damage that he can do. June is also a really strong counter because he is an individual attacker. June will distribute and mitigate that damage. And the last really good counter is actually Mr. Poseidon with his ice skills. Like I mentioned before, the Phoenix focuses one unit and keeps attacking it until it dies. If we put Poseidon's ice protection on that unit that the Phoenix is focusing, we can basically force it to kill itself. Every time it touches our ally, he's going to receive damage until he goes back to IKKI form. In the future, I've also heard that Evil Saga and the Goddess Athena, so the double S Athena, are also counters. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. We'll see it when those units come out, but they did tell me, please mention that because in the future, they will counter the Spicy Chicken pretty hard. And that's going to be about it. Now, like we already mentioned, he's really strong in PvP. He can be good in PvE as well. He is the master of Legion boss. Now that this guy is out and Radamanthus is out, don't be surprised to see players doing hundreds of millions of damage. He can also be useful in Athena Trial and the Seal Tower combined with Cannon. And I'm done talking, I want to see him in action. We're going to first go to the trial section so that I can demonstrate the mechanics in good detail, and then we're going to try to do an arena battle in which we're probably going to own some poor soul with Omri's superpowered chicken. Alright, here we are, and this is the exact same team we used yesterday for the demonstration because it allows us to demonstrate not only all of the attacking mechanics, but also the healing mechanics combined with Jamian. Now, for the first couple of rounds, I'm not going to do much. We don't have a lot of energy available, so we're just going to start pew-pewing some of these poor victims over here. I am not going to use the Vine for now. I can do whatever. I'm just going to whip this guy. Alright, and I'm going to give Jamian a double turn because Jamian can heal for 0 energy, and his self-healing mechanic depends on us being able to get some of these crowds on our allied unit. So I'm going to start doing that right now. I'm going to use the second skill, which only nukes him for 20% HP. I'm gonna give one of these healing thingies to IKKI. Why not? Now I'm gonna give this one, I don't know, to June or whatever. It doesn't really matter. And I'm gonna start playing with my tentacles. Now I have to click on an enemy unit. That's gonna summon 4 of my tentacles. And the enemy immediately attacked the tentacles. That's why I didn't bother putting June's Vine in, because the tentacles would not be in the Vine and Jamian would not start healing himself. Now, this round, I'm not going to do too much either because there's still not a lot of energy left. I am going to get the Vine up and I'm going to explain to you how Jamian works. I'm going to give him a double turn again. Now, you see these crows that are on the enemy units, right? I'm gonna transform. Why not? Why not? Let's do the AoE and transform, okay? So I'm going to transform, I'm gonna go into egg form, and I'm not going to immediately come out. I'm gonna stay in Pokeball form, okay? And I'm going to go for the attack buff, which, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, the final damage is the second skill. So I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it on myself, right? So I have these 5 wings. I don't know what the heck that means, but we're gonna get a buff, right? We already have a final damage buff. I'm gonna keep using these crows. I'm gonna get it on my whole freaking party here. And now, every single time that these enemies attack somebody that's connected to the vine, Jamian is going to heal himself. Alright? I don't have to full heal Phoenix yet, because we haven't transformed. So I'm just gonna keep getting crows. Keep poking this guy. Now, my Phoenix is not going to move, because he's not transformed yet. And did you see that? Did you see how much healing that was? Jamian is back to full health. For every single crow that we have on our team, Jamian heals once. It's freaking ridiculous. Now I'm ready to start doing this. And remember, when we crit with an attacker, with a physical attacker, the Phoenix, when he's inside of his egg, he gets a buff as well. So let's see if we can see that on screen. If we can see this counter increase somehow. Yes, it went to 6. You saw that it was in 5, we're now at 6. That's our final damage. So in this turn, I'm actually going to come out, I'm going to transform into the Phoenix to show you a couple of things. First, oh wait, let me give myself double turn. And I'm going to give myself, can I give myself one more buff and then come out? Yes, I'm at 10. And now I immediately come out because you can only stay in that form for 2 turns. Alright, I lost 20% of my HP, so I'm going to use this heals, guys, this thing heals for 100%. So I can bring my Phoenix back to 100% health immediately. Obviously, that self-nukes Jamian, but now the second one of these units, oh my god, the second one of these enemy units touches somebody on the vine, look at Jamian. Look at what's gonna happen to Jamian. Yeah, and when the enemy attacks, my bird spits too. My spicy chicken also attacks. So the animation takes forever. It's really, really slow because there's a lot of things happening. We're attacking, we're healing, it's truly ridiculous. And we have so many buffs. I don't even know. Let's double turn Isaac. And I'm probably gonna cut it after this one because Isaac's turn is going to take like 3 days to finish. Alright, the only one I haven't put a crow on is Isaac. So let me do that now. Now, I can move twice. That means I get a total of 10 attacks. We might wipe everything here, I'm not even sure. And notice that even though I clicked on this guy with Isaac, the Phoenix still focuses the guy that has the terrorizing debuff, right? Let me try it again. I'm gonna attack this guy over here, but the Phoenix is gonna keep spitting at this. Definitely does not like this guy. And that's 10 total attacks we can get with a double turn to Isaac. Now the enemy's moving and we're still attacking. Now, look at something else that's really, really cool. I'm gonna go up in the sky again, right? I'm gonna go up in the sky again with Pegasus. And look at what's gonna happen when my Juna does the vine. Look, okay, we already attacked together, but look what happens. I put the vine, the Phoenix spits, the freaking Pegasus does his bombardment from up there, and it's pretty much GG. In this turn, we're gonna finish everything. We spit, we Pegasus, we do all sorts of crazy stuff. Now, the only one we can't get a crow on is the crow himself. So let's put it on a tentacle. Can I do that? Yes, I can. And this is gonna be GG here. This is gonna be GG for these poor victims. Oh my god, the abuse is horrible. We're gonna go over to Arena and try to do a live battle, even though I don't even know what units Aubrey has with Cosmo or not, because he hasn't played this version in like 5 months. Alright, so I'm gonna fight somebody here that has a Divine Seiya, Arayashiki, Doko, Shion, Marine combination. It looks pretty strong. I hope I don't mess up, especially because I'm still not an expert spicy chicken user. Plus, I don't think we have a good healer in this account because Jamian is like 4 stars. So I could use him in the trial section, but I can't use him here. Doesn't matter. We're gonna go in and we're gonna hope for the best. Now, this time, am I gonna bring June? I don't have Jamian. So is June actually even useful? June is useful because he does have Shion and Doko. So I think I'm gonna need a June here. How the heck am I gonna get heals? I'm gonna go without Luna. I'm gonna go June, Kiki, Chicken, Hades, just because double god, Hades, Poseidon, and then Pandora to get at least an individual heal in here. Because there's not a lot of debuffs going on in the enemy team. So I'm not sure how effective Pandora is going to be. I'm going to get my Vine up. And I am going to generate some energy. I am going to transform right away. Oh my god, I always forget I have to click on the enemy because this first does an AoE attack. So I'm going to click on the enemies. I still have Blood Elf. And what do we do now? Do we want to stay? Let's stay in egg form for a little while longer. Let's stay in egg form for a little while longer. I don't think we have too. Oh my god, he weakened my thing? Really, bro? That's not cool at all. Now, I don't even know what this freaking skill does, but I'm gonna put it on Phoenix. And I'm gonna start summoning shit with my Poseidon. Okay? Because I want to have the summon ready for when the chicken starts spitting, then the summon will be ready to go, right? Every time the summon moves, the chicken will spit too. And we're gonna get this going in case there's debuffs of some sort. There's no debuffs of any sort, but they do have a lot of heals. This is looking really, really bad. I think I chose the wrong team to attack. Whatever. We Vine. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of buffs already. But my only concern here is that if I transform into the Phoenix now, I think I'm going to die before Pandora's turn comes. So let me do this. Let me stay in this thing. Oh my god, I came out automatically. But because I used the second buff, I actually came out with more than 20% HP. What in the world does this do? I don't know what this does. I hope I'm not killing my chicken myself. Let me summon the other guy. Let me summon the other guy that we get additional attacks, yeah? We get additional. Oh my god, I clicked on something. We get additional attacks. Somebody's already dead, and we can do the individual heal. Okay, this is really good. We can use Pandora's heal. It's not amazing, but it's something. And we get one more attack, and he didn't have enough energy to do the quadruple dragon shit. Now, hey, here's one of the things we talked about. You see, this Shion is protecting Doko, and never mind. Doko's dead. Doko's dead because my chicken kept spitting while the enemy units moved. So I think we're pretty safe at this point. And we got a debuff somehow. So we healed. I don't even know. Wait, how are we getting heals? Whoa! What did he do? What is this? What, murder Marine. Oh, this is 82,000. What the fudge brownies? What the actual shit, Batman? Alright, let's do this one. Let's try to freeze the Shion. And then my 2 summons are gonna move, so I get to attack 2 more times with the chicken. So we attack a total of 3 times. Let's keep my chicken healed. I want to finish this in style. Oi, Dios mío! Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright. Now, we should be able to end it this turn. It's going to end this turn. The chicken moves. Oh, actually, Hades. Finish him! Oh, Jesus, my phone is ringing. That was freaking amazing, and we didn't even use Divine Seiya because Omri doesn't have him built on this account. And that's it for the spicy chicken, guys. That is the full review. Hopefully it helps you to decide if you want to go for him, if you want to build him, and how to build him. Now, there's a couple other things I wanted to announce about this week. Tomorrow we're going to have a video with some really amazing stuff that's been happening lately. I've gotten a couple of gifts from followers, people from the stream, and they've really left me speechless. The generosity of the community is really amazing. So tomorrow we're going to see the moment where we open some of those gifts during the streams. And to give a little bit back, we're also going to announce some upcoming giveaways. Now, there's going to be a giveaway for YouTube, and there's going to be an exclusive giveaway for Twitch as well. We'll be announcing those tomorrow, and we'll also be announcing the unboxing that will be taking place on Friday. If you guys are enjoying the unboxing of the Mythcloth series, we're gonna have a brand new one on Friday. Not gonna tell you who, you're gonna have to watch tomorrow's video. I'm gonna leave you here for now. Thank you so much for watching as always. Please remember, hit like, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye!